Hello students and welcome to the G3 e-learning classes. I hope you all are doing well at your home and keeping good care of your health. Students, as we have already done the first part of this video of this chapter, Nelson Mandela Long Walk to Freedom. So today in this video we are going to do our next part of this chapter. So let's start. It is from these comrades in the struggle that I learned the meaning of courage. Time and again, I have seen men and women risk and give their lives for an idea. I have seen men stand up to attacks and torture without breaking, showing the strength and resilience and that defies the imagination. I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. In this paragraph, Mandela said that he learned from the comrades. Comrades means his companion, or you can say leaders. The meaning of courage and also witnessed the people of his country risk and sacrifices their lives for freedom. These leaders taught him that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. Here is an old saying that the brave man is not the one who does not fear, but the one who conquers it. Our next paragraph is no one is born hating another person because of the color of his skin or the background or his religion. People must learn to hate, and if they can learn to hate, they can be taught to love, for love comes more naturally to the human heart than its opposite. Even in the grimmest times of not of in prison, when my comrades and I were pushed to our limits, I would see a glimmer of humanity in one of the guards, perhaps just for a second, but it was enough to reassure me and keep me going. Man's goodness is a flame that can be hidden but never extinguished. In this paragraph, Mandela says that no one is born hating others because of color or religion. If we can learn to hate, we can learn to love also. Love comes naturally to the human heart. This is what we should do. We should learn to love. He also told that even in grimmest times means horrible times in prison, he and his leader were trying to do the things beyond their limits. He would see the shine of humanity in one of the guards, and that shine was enough for them to keep going. The flame of goodness can be hidden but never extinguished. Extinguished means बुझाना, कि बुझ नहीं सकती जो वो गुडनेस जो है दैट कैन बी हिडन, उसको छुपाया जा सकता है बट दैट कैन नॉट बी एक्सटिंग्विश्ड. In life, every man has twin obligations. This paragraph is very important, my dear students, so please listen it carefully. In life, every man has twin obligations. Obligations to his family, to his parents, to his wife and children. And he has an obligation to his people, his community, his country. In a civil and human society, each man is able to fulfill those obligations according to his own inclinations and abilities. But in a country like South Africa, it was almost impossible for a man of my birth and color to fulfill both of those obligations. Obligations means kartavya, duties. The author talks about twin obligation, and one obligation to his family, to his parents, to his wife and children, and the second one is he has an obligation to his people, his community and his country. He says that each one of us should fulfill these two obligations. He regrets that no one in South Africa could fulfill these obligations during the era of oppression. Because if a man tried to fulfill his duty to his people was unavoidable, ripped from his family and forced to live a life in isolation. Mandela said that in the beginning he did not give the priority to his people above his family. In South Africa, a man of color who attempts to live as a human being as punished and isolated. As I have already told you, that those who try to complete their duty, they have to punished and they have to be live in isolation. In South Africa, a man who tried to fulfill this duty to his people was inevitably ripped from his family and his home and was forced to live in life apart. A 12th existence of secrecy and rebellion. I did not in the beginning choose to place my people above my family, but in attempting to serve my people, I found that I was prevented from fulfilling my obligations as a son, a brother, a father, and a husband. So, as I have already told you, that the Mandela said that in the beginning he did not give the priority to his people above his family, as a son, as a brother, and as a father and as a husband. I was not born with a hunger to be free. I was born free, free in every way that I could know. Free to run in the fields near my mother's hut, free to swim in the clear stream that run through my village, free to roast meals under the stars and ride the broad backs of slow moving bulls as long as I obeyed my father and abided by the customs of my tribe. I was not troubled by the laws of man or God. In this paragraph, Mandela said that he was not born with the hunger of freedom. He was born free. He could run freely near his house. He could swim in the clear river. He could freely prepare the meals under the stars and rode the broad back of the bulls. He was not troubled by the law of man or God. It was only when I began to learn that my boyhood freedom was an illusion, when I discovered as a young man that my freedom had already been taken from me, that I began to hunger for it. At first, as a student, I wanted freedom only for myself, the transitory freedom of being able to stay out at night, read what I pleased, and go where I chose. Later, as a young man in Johannesburg, I yearned for the basic and honorable freedoms of achieving my potential, of earning my keep, of marrying and having a family, the freedom not to be abstracted in a lawful life. Soon Mandela realized that his boyhood freedom was an illusion. When he discovered that His freedom had been taken from him, but it increased his desire for freedom. He started thinking about freedom in terms of a group of people or as a race. It made him bold. At first, as student, he wanted freedom only for himself, but later, as a young man in Johannesburg, he felt great desire for honor, his potential for marrying and having family. But then I slowly saw that not only was I not free, but my brothers and sisters were not free. I saw that it was not just my freedom that was curtailed, but the freedom of everyone who looked like I did. That is when I joined the African National Congress, and that is when the hunger for my own freedom became the greater hunger for the freedom of my people. It was this desire for the freedom. Mandela suddenly realized that not only he was not free, but his whole race was not free. Mean that every person who looked like him was not free. And then he joined African National Congress, and his hunger of his own freedom had become the hunger of his people's freedom. Of my people to live their lives with dignity and self respect that animated my life, that transformed a frightened young man into a bold one, that drove a law abiding attorney to become a criminal, that turned a family loving husband into a man without a home, that forced a life loving man to live like a monk. I am no more virtuous or self sacrificing than the next man, but I found that I could not even enjoy the poor and limited freedoms I was allowed when I knew my people were not free. Freedom is indivisible. The chains or any one of my people were the chains on all of them. The chains on all of my people were the chains on me. Here, the desire for the freedom of the people as a whole animated Mandela's life, and this desire transformed a frightened young man into a bold man. From a law abiding attorney, he becomes a criminal. He becomes a criminal in the eyes of the law. That turned a family loving husband into a man without a home and forced to live life like a monk. He did not enjoy the freedom allowed to him when he found that his own people were not free. He considered the chain which is tied their people were the chains of himself. Mandela realized that the freedom is indivisible, and both the oppressed and the oppressor must be liberated. I know that the oppressor must be liberated just as surely as the oppressed. A man who takes away another man's freedom is a prisoner of hatred. He is locked behind the bars of prejudice and narrow mindedness. I am not truly free if I am taking away someone else's freedom, just as surely as I am not free when my freedom is taken from me, the oppressed and the oppressor alike are robbed of their humanity. In this paragraph, Mandela realized that the freedom is indivisible and both the oppressed and the oppressor must be liberated. A man who takes others' freedom, that man is a prisoner of hatred and locked behind the bar of bias and narrow mindedness. He pledged at last Mandela's pledge to provide freedom to his people to live with dignity and self respect. And this is all about our chapter. I hope you all understand it will. Thank you so much.